Hi everyone, welcome to part 4 of our little ornamental plant tour. We're going to be doing this very quickly. We have a few more plants to show you. So we'll get right started with a Philodendron florida. Quite a common plant, but nonetheless a very, very beautiful one. Very recommendable, I must say. Now, we have a couple of superstars here, but first we have to go to the Monstera dubia. So this is a shingling monstera that gets its fenestrations with age. This is a young one. We will show you a bigger one, but I don't think it's quite started fenestrating yet, but this is a super beautiful plant. Really, really amazing. And then back here, this is where things get really fun, guys, especially for those of you that love Anthuriums, because this is my papillilaminum mother plant. So it's been in the ground for a couple of years now. Takes normally a couple of years for things to get really happy, but as you can see, after a couple of years, this thing is massive. There's a new leaf coming there. So I have to say it is an absolute heartbreak to be thinking about taking this plant out, because over 2 years it's established itself. The roots have gone everywhere and the soil is amazing. So the plant is just exploding, as you can see. So in our next place and our final project that we will be doing in this part of the world, we're going to be focusing all of our energy in creating somewhere that can become an intergenerational asset for the ecology, for the environment, for wildlife, and also for hopefully the economy and the community. And by doing that, we will also be able to create an intergenerational home for plants like this that don't have to get ripped out after 2 years when they're so happy. But that is really one of my best plants, I have to say. Quick look up here, in amongst all of the pothos scandens that you guys have already met. We'll have to move these Lear indicas. This is all the native stuff. This is an Anthurium polyschistum. So we've got a couple of them growing around. They never really get very big, they're very leggy. But again, if you want to create a kind of rainforest vibe in an outdoor tropical region, this one is very, very cool and very easy. Then here you have a Monstera esqueleto fighting its way through the pothos. Hasn't really got so big yet, but it would have done once it got a little bit more light. But as you guys maybe know, if you saw our first episode that we started with of our entry tour, we have one massive one of that. So if you didn't check out that video, go and have a look. I shouldn't be saying this, but it's towards the end. Okay, this side. So here we have fishtail palm, Caryota urens, amazing native species. There's another one behind me. This is all regeneration, so you have to imagine that this area was actually completely almost barren when we arrived. It was just full of invasive plants and grass. So this is all the regenerating forest around us. If you heard a random whistling in the background, and if it comes back, that is the Malabar whistling thrush, which is also known as the whistling schoolboy. It's a really beautiful bird. It's very rarely seen, but it literally sounds like a person whistling in the forest. So if you hear that in the background, do keep an ear out. It's quite fun. Here, this is a bigger Philodendron gigas. So I planted this out maybe 10, 11 months ago, and it's devastating actually to have to pull it out, because it just started doing its thing and grooving, and I really want to see this with a 1.5 meter leaf. So yeah, this is how it looks after a 1.5 years, and we're gonna have to start all over again. Okay, let's go around here and see. Here we have a Syngonium chiapense. We'd already shown you one of those in our first video. Very robust, very easy growing, not particularly spectacular, it must be said. And now we're going to have to go off the path, because I had told you in the previous episode about the Philodendron tenue, and it is all the way in here, and it also gives me another chance to show off my papillilaminum. So this is the Philodendron tenue. I'd actually just planted another Papillilaminum here, which is going to have to come out, but that's not as heartbreaking as moving this one, as you can well imagine. But this is the Philodendron tenue. Here you can see a nicer leaf that didn't get scrunched. So that's an Equigenera plant, and that also has the ability to get really massive. Also, this fun little chap in the background you can see here, this is Remarkably vivipara. That's another native aroid of this region. Very, very cool plant. And a ficus growing inside of this cut from the tree, which is very interesting. One quick stop off here to do a shout out for the Philodendron holtianum. I told you that I like these kind of T-shaped leaves. This is another new acquisition from Sandeep, Talking Shade. There's a lovely new little leaf coming there. Only just planted out, so we'll have to replant it. So this is a Philodendron bipenifolium. It's a little bit bigger. The supari has died because there was too much light before we arrived, so it's been dead for a while. You can see it's very shaky. That's a bipenifolium. So here I don't know if there's enough light to see that because we're really running out of time, but this is a bigger Monstera dubia. It still hasn't started getting its fenestrations, but it's definitely doing well. But this plant is a plant I planted out 2 years back. So just again to talk a little bit about the forest restoration, this is an environment that was completely open and only full of invasive plants, so you could see through all of this. In 2 years, this is the kind of growth that we've got. These again are all native species or endemic species, and we've gone from an environment literally where the entire ground and the soil and everything is exposed, or grass or invasives, to starting to get a canopy here, which is fantastic in just 2 years. Just a quick shout out again to a native species. This is called Helicteres isora. Very, very beautiful. It gives these lovely flowers, very good nectar, and the seed actually looks like a spirali pasta. It starts out red, and over time as it ages it becomes kind of blue. So this is a native species. It's very beautiful. It's more like a shrub. It can become a small tree, but it's not really a giant tree. This is another interesting native. This is a sandpaper fig. So you can probably hear it's incredibly textured. This used to be used to impart a fine grain on woodwork, and it can become quite a large tree, but it's a secondary species. It's not one of these evergreen trees. So, or not one of these forest trees, I should say. This is Philodendron Paraiso-Verdi. We've just planted that one as well at the start of the monsoon, so maybe 6 months ago, and it got very happy. But that's a really great one if you want to bring a little bit of colour and brightness into your garden. This one is fantastic. Again, it's a little bit leggy. Maybe that's not so much of a problem if you give it a lot of light. Maybe that would make it a little bit more compact if you're growing it indoors. But if you have an outdoor space and you want to have a kind of a statement plant that gives some really nice colour and vibrancy, Paraiso-Verdi is a very, very good one. So over here we have a Philodendron mayoi. It's again another one of these creeping, very strongly creeping philodendrons. Looks very nice, but I've never really got it to size up massively. If any of you guys have any examples of massive ones of those, feel free to send them to us. It would be very cool to see what size this plant can reach. Here we have again the Remarkably vivipara, and if you see here, these are well, they're not seeds because they're clones, so seed-like things. So these attach to the bodies of squirrels or other hairy mammals or birds, and then they get deposited around the forest. So this is another kind of philodendron. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments also. Maybe a dark lord or something like that, but it's again very nice. Now we're just going to do the last couple of plants, if you come with me very quickly, because it's getting dark. So we were planning on filming this over a couple of days, but because we're literally leaving in a few days and all of these plants have to come out, we were in a real rush to get this done. So I'm going to leave you with a couple more really cool plants. This is a Monstera adansonii. So for all of you that know the Swiss cheese plant, this is what it can become. It goes through periods where it looks a little bit more raggy. You can see the new leaves coming out have got a little bit of damage from caterpillars on them, but it's a really massive Monstera actually. So for those of you that want a big Monstera, actually you can start with this one. You just have to grow it up. And then here, last bit, this is Monstera pinnatipatita. So luckily with the light in the background you can probably see how nicely fenestrated that is. So that's a really nice mature one. It's actually started just giving an inflorescence up there, which is the first time I've noticed that, which is cool. So there's that one. And then a massive variegated bell marks coming as well. So thank you everyone for watching again. Sorry it got so dark, but life is a little bit crazy at the moment, but we really wanted to give you an idea of what we have here. Maybe tomorrow morning before the first truck comes, we'll have just a little bit of time to show you a few more of our specimen plants. But if we don't, then you will have a chance to see them on the other side when we start planting them all back into a new place again. So make sure you do like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, please do ask them, and we'll do our best to get back to them as quickly as we can. As soon as we've moved into our new place, we will be back in network, which means that this will all start getting a lot easier for us. Thank you very much, and we will see you again soon. That is a very sexy stingray.